Peace and love to everybody who's coming in.
Strange. Peace, love, and light, everybody. We're getting ready to start. We're just trying to get this figured out, trying to go live simultaneously with Facebook and on the YouTube channel.
Greetings to everybody. Peace and positive forward motion, perfected resonance with your highest good. Greetings to everybody over at Facebook and StreamYard. Tonight's show is going to be about parasites, what they are, how they affect the body, and how to free yourself of them. We're trying right now to get this together. Thanks everybody for tuning in.
Let's see. I even get a notification. Let me see.
You should have got a new one. I just sent a new one over to you. So it should come in to invite you on video.
Let me see if it comes up on here. Maybe I need to log out of the computer one version. Let's see. Sorry, y'all. You get to see this backstage moment, so to speak. Okay.
Wow, they still you didn't get a link over there yet?
Still didn't. It's so weird because when I,
it is very strange to all of the people who are in the background watching. It is very strange just to kind of let everybody know what's going on. I can't find him to send him a link in the video, and therefore we can't connect over on the Facebook end of things. So I guess we're just roll with it over here, and they'll just be able to hear it from the Facebook Live.
Strange things. Yeah, so like normally when I go on through the app, right, I would be able to see you when you do your live, but I don't see you on a live. And then I have you in my, if I do the search, right, you're first in my search, so it pops up.
What's crazy over here is I know I got your page on my Facebook, and when I type you in the search, I can't find you. You don't come up in my search.
Okay, now it's giving me the option to go live when I go through the phone app now at this point.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna go out and then go back in over here, and then it'll be restarting, and then we can roll.
I hope that works.
Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. Boom. Live in 3, 2, 1. Welcome to tonight's show on parasite cleanses, where we'll be giving you revelatory information about what parasites are, how they affect the body, and how to get rid of them. Our co-host is going to be Jay Drizzle. I said Jay Drizzle. Jay Drizzy. He's coming to the room over here, and let's see if we can get him invited and on cam.
I just had to correct my settings. Okay. Sorry, family. I'm working on it. Let's see here. Camera. Does that work?
Make a comment in the room. Maybe we can try it that way.
It's trying to treat me like I'm trying to add a video. This is okay. Very, very frustrating.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You know what? I'm gonna try not from the event. I'm gonna try straight from the page. See if that works.
See, when I click go live, oh, you probably can't see it for some reason. This way I got the screen set up.
All right. Check your notifications, Jay.
Okay, I'm going to check. Refresh. I see you now.
Peace and perfect resonance with everybody over here at Facebook. We are about to open up Parasites and Demons are the same thing.
You see my request?
All right, there we go.
All right. I'm killing my volume on the messenger. I mean on the Facebook. So can you hear me? Now I can barely hear you on the YouTube live. StreamYard. I can hear you on Facebook. Wait.
Okay, now can you hear me on StreamYard?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. There we go. And I'm going to kill the Facebook one too. All right, finally, we are in the building and ready to get this thing started.
Let me get this. Oh. Weird. What just happened?
I'm adding you back.
Okay. I don't know how I did that. My bad, y'all.
I don't know what happened either, but okay, there we go. All right, so greetings to everyone on Facebook. We're about to get this parasite video started. It's going to explain what parasites are, how they affect the body, how you can get rid of them, and give some interesting revelatory information that came about as me and my brother dived deep in this rabbit hole and figured some things out about how deep this parasite thing really goes.
Indeed. So where we're gonna kick this off from, brother?
Well, we can kick it off with just saying what a parasite is, so everybody understands what a parasite is. A parasite is a being or a thing that takes away and doesn't give back to your body. You got protozoa, which is one cell. Then you have other parasites, but the commonality between all parasites is they take and do not give.
Indeed. Indeed. So, we're also going to explore the connection between the parasite's interaction within the human body and the connection or similarity to demonic possession or even demonic possession syndrome, as in the psychiatric field they call it.
Yes, and talk about, well, we can get it when we get into that medical part, and talk about some of the mistaken medical diagnoses that are parasite related. And that's going to be an interesting segment of tonight's show. Can't hear. Okay, let me scoot up a little bit. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Sam? Sun Ra, can you hear me? Sam Sun Ra, can you hear me? Can you give me a 1 if you can hear me? Wow, now my sound's dropped out. Jay, yeah, I can hear you over on the other one. Maybe it's just his. If you can hear me on the Facebook, then we all good. We can run.
Sorry, I gotta add myself. Yeah. So I had to move some things around. I was getting some feedback, some buzzing. So sorry about that, audience. Thanks for bearing with us. All right. So where you want to kick this off from, brother? This is
okay. Yeah, this is a very deep subject and a great subject matter. You going in?
Why don't I'll share for those who are can check out the YouTube.
Yep. Sun Ra, you said it's going in and out over there. Jay is about to post the YouTube link or the StreamYard link so that you can come over there and check it out from there, and maybe the sound will be clearer over there. Okay, Jay. I mean, we can start it off wherever you'd like, but I'll start off. We know what parasites are. They take away from you. They take away your minerals. They take away your energy, and they utilize it for their own. And they don't give you anything in return. You want to start off on the medical side or the religious side of this?
I'm gonna go where you go. We're gonna go boldly, go where no man has gone before.
Right on. Okay. Okay. Well, since we'll start off with the medical side of it, just to give people an idea of how deep this thing goes. They got toxomosis is a result of a parasite infection that is commonly a parasite that's commonly found in pork. It starts with an A. It's one of the most common parasites that you can encounter. Now, that pork parasite that goes into the body and it starts the process of what is called schizophrenia, and it starts the process of what's called depression. And so when you're going into a doctor's office, you may go into a doctor's office or to a psychiatric location, and they may say that you're dealing with schizophrenia, or you may be dealing with the depression or whatever, and they give you medicine to heal the symptoms, and then you're taking the medicine to heal the symptoms, but you may not actually deal with the root cause, which may be a parasite infection. And furthermore, the medical industry makes trillions of dollars a year, and we've already, amongst the conscious community, discovered that they just trying to make a dollar. They don't care about you. They're not trying to cure you and all of that type of stuff. We've already discovered that, and this just further solidifies it. If the call, and then there was even more problems. I seen some articles that We came back and forth between me and you, and what were they dealing? They were dealing with other mental issues.
Absolutely, yeah. If you don't mind, I'll share with the YouTube audience. This is
Right on. And I'll put it on the glasses, so what you share, they'll be able to see over here on
perfect,
my,
perfect,
my channel.
perfect, beautiful. So, I mean, this is easily looked up on Google, but it shows seizures and headaches are the most common symptoms. Confusion, lack of attention to people and surroundings, difficulty with balance, excess fluid around the brain, or also called hydrocephalus, may occur also. Uh, let's see here. You've already pretty much talked about or addressed the schizoaffective disorders that can be associated with parasite infection as well within the brain.
Yeah, that's another one. Another interesting aspect is the toxiosmosis when the effect that it has on the brain. So let's say you trying to rid yourself of parasites, and you find yourself getting headaches. You know, you fasting, you coming off of sugar, and then all of a sudden these migraine headaches begin to affect you, which this is common amongst people. Even migraine headaches themselves can be a direct result of parasites, but that's also that parasite that's found in pork. If it makes its way to the brain, then when you're detoxing from it or killing it or doing a parasite cleanse, you may experience headaches and things like that. And that's a direct result of them trying to, I hate to say this, you know what I mean? They're using the bathroom.
Mhm.
And they're using the bathroom to push you to stop doing what you're doing, to cause levels of discomfort and parasites in the soft tissue areas. You'll feel real sensitive nerve wise, you know what I mean, in the soft tissue areas. And that's them trying to inflict pain or to cause headaches or discomfort to the level that you'll stop the parasite cleanse, or you'll stop what's causing them to lose their position on life in your body.
Indeed. Indeed. Man, let me emphasize the dizziness. When I started my parasite cleanse uh, almost 2 months ago, the first 3 or 4 days, I literally felt like I got drunk out of nowhere. Um, my legs gave way a couple of times a day. I had to steady myself. And one thing that helped with that was pomegranate juice. Um, it helped tremendously with for whatever reason. I have to look into the properties of uh, pomegranates, but for whatever reason, a friend said, "Hey, you try drinking this. That might steady you," and it definitely did. For me, and everyone has to figure out their own body, and you have to, you know, look at those signs. Those symptoms are telling you something. What's being affected within the body. You know.
Oh, and then we didn't even talk about cancer. We didn't even talk about that. The
Oh yeah, we're gonna we yeah we're gonna get to that. Um,
yeah.
man, there's so many routes we want to cover. So many areas we want to cover about the effects of this. Can we look at this? I have a PDF, and I'd like to share it. I sent it to you, but I don't know that uh, with your device setup, if you would be able to comfortably, you know,
No,
do that at the
I
moment.
can't. I can't at the moment, but soon and very soon.
Oh yeah, not a problem. So I got you. Let me do this. All right. So
Oh,
this is
and for the Facebook viewers, there's a link down there to the YouTube. If you go to the YouTube, you can see the article and what he's talking about over there at the YouTube page. You can actually see it on the screen.
indeed, indeed. This is about neglected parasitic infections in the United States. And let me see. I am going to go to the tab because I can see it a little better that way. I can. There we go. blow it up a little bit for everybody.
And then while you're saying that, oh well, go ahead. No, go ahead. I'll tackle that next.
Okay. So most people think of parasitic diseases occurring in poor and developing countries, something they might pick up on an overseas trip, right? However, parasitic infections still occur in the United States, and in some cases, they affect millions of people. I would say they affect 90 or more percent of the population because they're never addressed. Um, so it says, however, parasitic infections still occur within the United States, of course, and in some cases they affect millions of people. Often they can go unnoticed with few symptoms, but many times these infections cause very serious illnesses and including seizures, blindness, heart failure, or even death. Anyone, regardless of race or economic status, can become infected. So, although minorities, immigrants, and people living in poor or disadvantaged communities appear to be the most at risk, the good news is that most of these infections can be prevented and many are treatable. However, these infections are often undetected and untreated. So they're being spread more rapidly or more densely uh, populated or trafficked areas. And then,
Interesting note to add here is in India and Mexico they use a lot of spice in their food, and it's interesting to note that they have parasite content in their water system. So a lot of the places that have that high parasitic content usually have spicier food, and then we're one of the few countries. Again, this could have to do with the fact that the medical industry makes trillions of dollars a year, but we're one of the few countries that don't do a parasite cleanse regularly. So other countries, they do it at least twice a year. In this country, we deworm our dog every 6 months, but leave
yeah,
the worm and parasites in our own bodies to run rampant, which is not smart, to say the least. You know what I mean? It's not
that,
healthy.
I mean, and for those cat lovers out there, I'm not picking on you, but their fecal matter carries a very dangerous parasite. It's very transmissible.
Yes.
Very easy for kids or even the adult pet owner or furry friend, caregiver,
Yeah.
or
Children.
as your fur baby. But yeah, definitely children, infants easily pick this up. But there's 5 targeted infections, and you've mentioned I want to say at least a couple of them. But they're the targeted 5 parasitic infections by the CDC as a public priority health action based on the numbers of people infected and the severity of the illnesses caused. They include Chagas disease, neurocysticercosis, neurocyster, yeah, neurocysticercosis or cosis, toxocariasis, toxoplasmosis, and
Toxoplasmosis.
and
That's the
trichomoniasis. Yeah, that's that chiquino worm. That's that pork.
yeah, that make you want to get in. That make me want to get into the religious sector. Them you see them movies with the demons. They be all, you know what I mean, walking around and all of that. The parasite, man. That one parasite, the same one that's in the pork, the same parasite that's in the pork. They start with the A, the whatever. I can't think of it right now. But that parasite, when it gets into ants, the ant turn into, they call them zombie ants. If you want to look this up, so it'll get into the ant will start doing crazy stuff. Then it'll go and find a leaf. It'll clip onto an end of a leaf and starve itself to death. Then while it's clipped onto that leaf and it dies, the parasite then is able to spread to the tree. And that's the same parasite that's common to the U.S. citizens who eating pork and undercooked meat. So we don't know the effects that it has on the human brain because we haven't went into that study to to discover as it, yeah.
Interestingly enough, rage disorder linked to parasite found in cats or cat feces, excuse me. This
Rage
is what the parasite looks like. Disgusting.
Wait a minute. Rage disorder. Have you ever seen them demonic? Oh, now we back to the demonic possession. They throw stuff super strong. All of that. Anyway, back to what you were saying.
Oh, you're fine. This highlighted portion, uncontrollable explosive bouts of anger, such as road rage, might be a result of an earlier brain infection from toxoplasmosis parasite, an organism found in cat feces, a new study has found. In the study, more than 350 adults, those with a psychiatric disorder called intermittent explosive disorder, or IED, were twice as likely to have been infected by the toxoplasmosis parasite compared with healthy individuals with no psychiatric diagnosis. So, this study adds to a growing body of evidence suggesting that toxoplasmosis, usually a mild, non-symptomatic infection from a protozoan parasite called Toxoplasmosa gondii, may somehow alter people's brain chemistry to cause long-term behavior problems. Previous studies have linked toxoplasmosis to schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, impulsivity, and suicidal behavior, just like the ant.
My good, just like the ant, suicidal behavior. So these effects are showing themselves in humans as well. Greetings to everyone who's coming to the room. You know what it is. It's Parasite. It's the Parasite video tonight. And we're talking about revelatory knowledge about that. So then that ant parasite is showing the same effect in humans, which when you're looking at demonic possession, again, demonic possession, you'll lose control and have effects of your faculties, your consciousness, your sight, your breathing. All of these different areas that these demonic possessions are supposed to have an effect on. Interestingly enough, parasites have a direct effect on these same areas. They'll affect your breathing. They have a parasite that you can get from water, from the air, from sexual encounters with people. No sound on Facebook. What in the world is going on over there? They've cut our. Can you?
You must have tapped your mute on accident.
Oh my goodness. Okay, sorry about that for anybody who wasn't hearing it. Welcome to the room. We're talking about parasites. This is the revelatory show about parasites. I didn't know that the sound was off, so if you want to check out the beginning of the video, there's a link to the YouTube page in the description. There's a link to the YouTube page down below so you can catch the first part of the video. Welcome to the room.
Indeed, welcome. Yeah, YouTube channel is I want to say it's youtube.com/@JDrizzy. That's JDRIZZY, all lowercase 3692. And that's our main channel as well. So yeah, come on, join us. Either way, if you're comfortable with the Facebook setup, stay on Facebook, stay connected, because we got a lot of information to cover for you. You know, and please comment. You know, we want to see questions or comments. If you have some knowledge on this, some gnosis, something to contribute, we appreciate that as well, right?
Yes, indeed. And then what we're talking about right now, they got a parasite that hops into an ant and it causes it to take on zombie-like suicidal behavior. We just went through an article to show that same effect is found in humans, and we were just now corresponding it to demonic possession, and how it has an effect on the body, an effect on the different systems of the body, and that's where we're at in the video. So okay.
You know, I just want to mention also, you know, we've discussed this many times one-on-one, but you know, it was attributed to the man called Yeshua, who was speaking to his followers, and he told them, these type only come out by prayer and fasting. So a word to the wise is sufficient. When you start to feel things shift and change in your daily life, in your body, in routine actions, things start to stiffen. Communication becomes a lot more strained. You're having difficulty understanding people around you or vice versa. It's not always just this paradigm shift. It's not always, you're in another dimension as far as spiritually or psycho spiritually. It could be your body telling you that you've been invaded. There is something trying to take over and live your life.
Another interesting, welcome to the room. Another interesting one is the hookworm.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know if anybody's ever been barefoot outside or had their foot in their shoe, and then the bottom of the foot just start itching like crazy, and you scratching real hard on the bottom of your foot to stop this itch or whatever. Well, that has to do with hookworms, and hookworms are the worms that I was speaking to that affect your lungs. Once a hookworm makes its way in, it makes its way to the lungs and makes its way to other locations, and it can literally restrict your breathing capabilities. They have parasites have the capability to stop your sense of smell in certain things, and then they cause urges because that's how they're transmitted. So they sugar urges. You'll get a sugar urge because parasites' main survival method is sugar and glucose. Glucose or gluten, not gluten, sugar and gluten. Those two things make them survive majorly. So if you sitting around and you just like, oh, that food just didn't do it. I just want something sweet. I gotta have something sweet. I just need something sweet right now. That's usually the parasitic urge. You know what I mean? A parasitic based urge so that they can eat and that they can feed. You know what I mean? And then sacred energy exchange transmission. People may think that they have a insatiable urges and they have a high nature. You know what I mean? And that may be true. You know what I'm saying? And that could be a very true statement. But it could also be that you're having these urges to commence in these activities and be promiscuous and so forth and so on, not because of an awakening or a freedom. It may be because parasites are using that as a avenue of transmission.
Facts. Another thing to note. Let's see here. More than 20% of the U.S. population has been infected by the Toxoplasma parasite. And according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention's, cats are the only known host in which this parasite reproduces. Cats can shed the parasite's eggs called what is that? Oocysts or oocysts in their feces. Humans can become infected by that after unintentionally ingesting the microscopic oocysts, primarily from not washing their hands or cleaning a cat's litter box or working in a garden with contaminated soil. Other sources of toxoplasma are undercooked meat or unwashed vegetables that have been contaminated.
That's another thing with hookworms too. You know, they say wash your hands all the time, and some people don't give a darn, or they'll do crazy stuff like try to clean their nail out with a tooth or try to clean their nail out with their tongue. The danger in that is hookworms and the worms of this toxoplasmosis as well. Once you in that dirt and that's up under your nails, then you can go touching somebody or hanging out with your children, hanging out with your woman, and you could pass these these hookworms that way.
So hookworms, like you were saying, they are very plentiful in lawns or
Hmm.
whatever. They are. Let me pull that back up.
Yeah, and then
Blades of grass and under plants. That's what I was gonna say. Shady areas. So if your
yeah.
dog's getting sick and they start eating grass, it's like a parasite buffet going down. You know, might want to get your grass treated or find some natural. There's some natural things that'll, you know, get those
Another
bugs.
interesting note about the religious aspect, you mentioned the what he said is that when he cast those demons in the so he came upon the demons, they are that before my time, don't touch me, and then he cast them in the swine. Interesting note: pig has parasites that you cannot cook nor freeze out.
They
You
do.
cannot cook or freeze them out. So and you know that was an interesting note. But then further interesting, after they were cast into the swine, the pigs ran into the ocean and drowned themselves in the water. Well, parasites make major use of the water, the foams at the side of the water. They make major uses of it. You can see them going down in the sand when the water comes down at tide. You can actually watch parasites making their way down into the water. There's a parasite that fish get that drives them to bring themselves to the surface up to the sun. The parasite deals with their mind, causes their body to be taken over, and then they swim up to the surface and stay where the sun and in the shallows, and they're caught up by fish. And this is so we got one example of the ant. Now here's an example of a fish body being taken over and utilized by a parasite to be transferred. This is the same thing they say about demonic transference. You know what I mean? Don't touch them. Don't interact with them on certain levels.
Yeah.
When you're watching the movies, the girls trying to do something promiscuous with the cross, or get the preacher or the minister to come and behave in a potentially inappropriate way. These are all transmission mechanisms. If you go look up how parasites are transmission, all of these are parasitic transmissions. So you know,
While we are on that subject, that area of the subject matter, peace to they, whoever they is. Thanks for coming through on the YouTube stream yard. So let's see here. The wow, this is so interesting. So give me 1 second. Let me share this one.
and just for anybody who's coming in the room, thanks for coming in. This is the Parasite Show. And then if you want to see the things that he's posting up with your own eyes, there's a YouTube link down there, and you can go to the YouTube link and you can see with your eyes what it is that he's posting up.
So this is called
Please, bro.
common parasites linked to personality changes. Eating a raw steak or owning a cat may make you more outgoing. Feeling sociable or reckless, you might have toxoplasmosis, an infection caused by the microscopic parasite Toxoplasma gondii, which the CDC estimates has affected around or about 22.5% of Americans older than 12 years old. Researchers tested participants for T. gondii infection and had them complete a personality questionnaire. They found that both men and women infected with T. gondii were more extroverted and less conscientious than the infected than the infection-free participants. Excuse me. These changes are thought to be a result from the parasite's influence on brain chemicals. The scientists write in their May-June issue of the European Journal of Personality. So this is very interesting stuff.
And then you even mentioned blindness. You even mentioned blindness being an effective parasite, death being an effective parasite. You know, so what I worry about is how many times have we gone into a hospital and been dealing with the effects of a parasite and then found ourselves subscribe. Uh-oh, did I lose him? Oh, he'll be back, I'm sure, here in a second. So
Still here.
you still here? You dropped from the I don't know how, but you dropped from the Facebook.
No, I'm here physically. The volume was. I'm getting that radio effect. Uh-oh.
Okay. So what I worry about them us going to the hospital, say with depression, schizophrenia, cancer, blindness, muscle spasms, or joint pain, uh, migraine headaches. All of these are things that we would go to the hospital and they would prescribe us some type of medicine that may not have. Can't continue, bro, Jay.
Yeah, I'm here.
They just cut my live.
Say something.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can see and hear you. You're moving great, sounding great on the live here. It's okay.
Well,
See, now they're messing with the image here. Hold on. That makes no sense. We should have.
I'm gonna go back live. If you would rejoin the show, Jay.
Oh, they're showing your older lives. Okay, there you are. So how do I? It doesn't. Let's see.
Greetings to everyone who's coming into the room. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but Jay went out the room, and then right after he went out of the room, they told me I could not continue my live, and it was cut short. So we're back in the building.
I'm watching you on the live, but I am not seeing the.
Just send a comment. Just say anything, and then I'll link you in through that way. Wow. Thank you for bearing with us in YouTube and StreamYard. I appreciate you.
There I am. You added me?
Did you say something in the room?
Yeah.
It's not showing that you said anything.
There's a flag by my name too. That's crazy. Does that mean I'm supposed to be the host? Is that why it's doing that?
I guess maybe so. I'm not sure what exactly is going on right now.
This is let's see here.
And you said you made a comment in the room?
I sure did. And I can see me on the live with you.
Hold on, I'm gonna show you so you can see too that this is different.
Now it's turning me sideways and I'm not doing that one. But this is like old. It's like a replay. Now it's saying was live.
But I am live.
Correct.
Okay, can you see me with glasses on?
It is playing. I can see you on the YouTube stream with glasses on, but on the Facebook, it's playing back the live like it's over.
Okay. I'm
gonna just tell them to come over.
Yeah, if you would, please. And then I don't know what the crap is going on here. Oh, okay. So this is the video you commented. Oh, and there were people watching in the room and everything. Okay, so I'm gonna go live again.
They playing with us.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
So we ain't gonna let this stop us. So
all right, if just be looking in the background. If at any point you see that new live, just come in, say something in the room, and I'll add you. But in the meantime, we can go ahead with the show.
Absolutely no problem. So we've covered rage disorder. We've uncovered some of the links to behavioral changes caused and brought on by parasitic infection or demonic infestation, or however you want to look at it. Little tiny beings taking over your body and your mind in various ways and approaches. Also, excreting their waste and causing health issues in various systems within the body. Once again, shout out to they, whoever they are.
So
okay, they. I'm gonna show this comment. Let's get it. Well, glad you found the channel. Thanks for showing up. Indeed. A Pythagorean Mandelbrot
rabbit hole after getting my
rabbit hole after getting. Indeed. I haven't even gone into any of those accounts. Neither has T yet. But we have them.
Right on. Say if you see that live, man, come back in there. But okay, so we addressed going into the hospital with schizophrenia, bipolar, rage, migraine headaches, joint discomfort, and even blood infection and cancer. Those issues you may go to the hospital for, and they may provide you with medicine that deals with the symptoms, but not with the actual parasites that are causing the symptoms. So you'll continue to be sick comfortably in that case. And then legions, another aspect of the religious part of it. Legions, when you're dealing with many in one body, it doesn't make any sense unless you're dealing with parasites. Then it makes complete sense. A parasitic infestation can make you the house of very many parasites to the number extent of legions, depending on what parasite and how severe your infection is.
Most definitely.
Another interesting concept is I forget how the scripture goes, but something along the lines of once you cast a demon out, you make sure you maintain that level of cleanliness or that level of fervor that you exercise to keep the demon out, or it'll come back 7 times, or what it was before it left.
Yeah, it says that the house needs to be swept and garnished. Of course, within the religious aspect, a lot of us were brought up with that foundation. So we were told it meant that if you, for example, repent from your sins and you ask to be absolved of your sins, but you don't receive the Holy Spirit, you don't seek after the indwelling intelligence of the heavenly host, that prior demon or entity that was plaguing your life will go out to a place and find 6 other entities or energies more powerful than itself and come back to take over the house. And in order for it to do so, it has to find the house ungarnished and unswept, like not kept clean.
Yeah.
And it can bind the strong man of the house. So that would be like your will, if you would, your as we call the right brain, the father. It would bind the man of the house, so that authoritative right-handed energy, it would take control of that in order to repossess or take adverse possession of, the dwelling, which is in this case your body.
Yeah. That's I was about to say the plain side of it on the physical aspect would be that parasites have cycles depending on which parasites you're dealing with. And these cycles may rotate every 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 2 weeks, 3 days, whatever they may be. So if you go through a parasite cleanse and then you leave the bodies of the parasites within your intestinal tract without doing some measure of cleaning them out, the measures of cleaning them out, the best one is hydrotherapy or colonics. But you can also do, heavy water intake and diuretics and stuff like that to clean out your system. But you want to get those parasites out, because if you don't get them out, which is cleaning out the house, then those eggs will be born, and those eggs will produce very many new parasites. And if you've cleansed the area in which they used to live, then now there's new parasites and an uninhabited house. And then if you continue to eat the same atrocious foods that led up to the infestation being to the degree that it was, then you didn't clean out the house, you didn't garnish the house, you left it dirty. Now these new parasites that have gone, you could even the desert explanation, they hide in the recesses of your bowels. So,
Yeah. Sorry, I am trying to let people know where we are, just in case.
Okay, no worries. And if you see the live, just make sure you say something in there, and I'll add you to the live.
Yeah, I've been trying to locate it. I don't know why it is not showing up. So let's see here. All right. They literally have this captured as like your stories was live. I cannot find you live. This doesn't make. Okay, wait a minute. No, that's not my other friend with the same name, first name. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna keep it moving. It's all good.
Yeah.
We're gonna get this together, and if we got to do this again, and we have more time and more information, we bring that with it. So it's not an issue.
Okay. And then let's see. Now we get into, goodness, I wish you was on the other one for this. Now we get into what the consciousness of these parasitic beings. Have you ever heard of the catastrophic event of Atlantis that led to the Great Deluge?
Absolutely.
Well, for those who have not heard about this before, I'm going to give you a quick explanation of it just for the point that we're trying to make tonight. More information can be found about this event in many different channels throughout YouTube. Spirit Science has a great breakdown of it, and you can check those videos out. But here's the basis of it. You got frequencies that keep our dimensions split away from each other. So if I'm in one vibration, it won't be until a certain part of the year. It won't be until I get to a certain geolocation. It won't be until I get into a certain person's presence that I'm able to have a frequency on me for a long period of time. Frequency changes the molecular structure of whatever's being played to it. So if you got a consistent frequency playing to something, then it won't be the same molecular structure that it was before then. So that experiment at Atlantis, they put a whole bunch of dimensional vibrations together on high. It would be the equivalent of today's coverage areas. When you're in a coverage area, you're being hit and bombarded by a frequency. So we know that Bluetooth and other signals directly affect and change your molecular structure and your genetic formulation. So with that said, when this dimensional rip happened, they didn't know what they was doing. Kind of like CERN don't know what they doing with the portals.
Right.
So when they did this dimensional vibrational thing, it opened up portals. So now you have spirits that are displaced. You have people who were operating, let's say it was third dimension. Now the third dimension just dropped into the eighth dimension. You know what I mean? Or the second dimension drops into the fourth dimension. And all of those beings that were operating on those levels are now disembodied on our plane. So in the takeover capability of those consciousness, it's harder to work with larger, more developed beings. Interesting to note, the predominant parasite makeup is protozoa, which is one cell. So your predominant parasites are protozoa. The easiest consciousness to take over, the smallest consciousness to take over is protozoa. So another speculative theory about what these parasites are is consciousness that are trying to make their way into our reality. Another interesting note to take that to is there was a artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is growing and developing, and they're getting to the point where these consciousnesses are transferable onto disk, onto record, and they can be put into sleeves and bodies and different things like that. So, that may be the progression of parasite influences beyond the natural parasitic influences that we have on us now that are just knocking out our smell, causing us to have urges and things like that. They still don't have a body. They're just utilizing ours to ensure that they survive. Which is another interesting potential.
It is. Wow. Job security. Wow. It puts me in mind of there's a story amongst the Navajo elders. I cannot think of the man's name. I apologize, but he's known as a Navajo elder. If you go on YouTube, you can find him doing interviews, various interviews about different time periods and the prophecies and the folk ways and the culture of that group of people. And he talks about how there was a 4 portal event. He talked about the 4 metals, and each portal, I guess, was representative of the world that those metals came out of before they became a part of our reality. And at some point, there was a parasite that, similar to how bed bugs do, they call them hitchhikers. They piggybacked some other beings that were being intentionally invited in. And so they, in a way, not just in a way, actually in a very large way, affected our reality from that point forward. And he was saying that it was unintentional, meaning they may have intended to hitchhike, but it was not intended by the ones who were the openers of the way to allow their entry.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So once they were here, and they have affected our reality ever since. And I would think that they on a certain level hold an intelligence or whatever was their maker. Continued to experiment just like they continued to experiment on the early hominid. You know, I would wonder even what they have knowledge of as far as what genetics or genetic coding it is that makes one more susceptible than maybe another, even though all races, ethnicities, creeds, etc., are affected by parasitic infection. Uh, there had to be some calculable determination.
You know what I noticed in doing this research about them, their they find themselves at the proper junction to steal energy and to take the vitamins and nutrients necessary for them to survive. What's interesting is about that they had to map the body, being that small of an of a parasite. They had to have enough knowledge to know where those juncture and energy points are. I don't know if that was instinctual. I don't know if that was based on survival. Um, I don't know, you know, how that came about, but it does suggest a great level of a big level of consciousness on the part of these, you know, parasites. And again, that and then how are they perceiving? You know what I mean? Are they hijacking the perceptive capability of the bodies that they're hosting? Um,
In those articles, that's pretty much the statement being made over and over. Is it they can affect their perception of reality, their ability to not only perceive but observe people in close proximity and events taking place right around them. Uh, Frightening stuff. Brain
yeah,
confused.
I mean, just in light of that saying, when I took my first parasite cleanse, and it was black walnut, hall, clove, and wormwood complex. When
Yeah,
I took that, Jay, I really had to ask myself, am I hearing these demons? You know what I'm saying? In this sense, in this, I know that are parasites. Let me say parasites to make it less, you know what I'm saying? Like spooky. You know what I'm saying? I wonder to myself, am I hearing these parasites? I would get ready to go for my parasite cleanse, and everything in the world would be like, no, don't. It's disgusting. Don't take it. Stop. It's not necessary. You know, not find something else to do. Don't you want to eat? Aren't you hungry? You know what I'm saying? Like all
yeah.
of these, all of these come across my mind. You know what I mean? When it's the time for the parasite cleanse, I started taking it at off the wall moments, so I didn't have to go through such um, a battle
Hmm.
to take. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Not even to mention what I saw my skin change, my energy levels changed,
Same here.
my mind clarity got higher. I was able to hold a thought and work through a thought without hitting those brain fogs that happen for no reason or what I thought to be no reason.
Hmm. Absolutely.
So
Absolutely. I'm experiencing that now. And there are ups and downs. Don't be afraid. The downs do come, but
yes,
you figure it out because now you can hear your body. You can feel the parasites getting upset, but you can hear your body now. Your body's telling you, like, hey, don't eat that. I know
Yeah.
you feel like you're craving it, don't you? And then they'll let you your body will let you do they'll let you look at some items of food or what you have been thinking is food all this time, and you will literally lose your appetite for it. I mean, literally right in front of you, you will say, "What is this?" And you'll start looking at it different, and not like necessarily in a yuck way, but in a "What is this?" Like a curious. This is what I've been doing.
Jay, let me tell you the scary event that happened to me, man. I went down there in Jamaica. You remember my time in Jamaica?
Yep, last year. Yeah,
Man, I was fasting and only eating raw fruits and vegetables during that time period, right?
indeed.
And wasn't even really eating them. I was mostly juice, right? And so it got to the point, man. I had a headache so bad that I called my woman and said, "Yo, if I die down here, you know what I'm saying? I just want you to be aware. Like I'm having a headache and an amount of pain in my head that I don't know if I'm having an aneurysm. I don't know if this is an aneurysm. I don't know, you know what I'm saying, if I'm about to kick the bucket, but I just want you to know that I'm in this condition. You know what I mean? So I'm in this condition. I'm going and I'm trying different things to knock it out. Jay, I opened up the refrigerator at this man's house I'm staying at. This is not my house. I'm at some other person's house.
Right.
He got one Snickers in the refrigerator, so he gonna know I stole his Snickers. You know what I mean? If I take his Snickers, I didn't care, Jay. The urge in my body was so strong. I grabbed that Snickers off that counter, ripped that Snickers open, and two bites. One bite. Two
Oh
bites, and it
man.
was over for the Snickers. But my headache, Jay. This is what's scary. All that pain I'm in. I'm walking around the house barely moving, body bent over like this. Don't want to lean to the side because I don't want the headache to hurt me worse. The whole time it was parasites. When I ate that Snickers, all that went away within 10 minutes.
Been there, man. Been there. Not long ago. Peace to Mountain Violet. Thank you. I think it's Mountain Violet, MTN Violet. Yeah. So thank you. Thank you so much. Hi to you. Hello. Or no,
Greetings.
hi, greetings. Yeah. Sorry. Hi. Yeah, man. That's another thing. I just did it. But your word choice, it'll affect your word choice. It will have you hearing things differently. Things that people have been saying to you. You're like, I hear you now.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
they're
yeah.
like, yeah, I've been saying that. And it's like, yeah, but this is the first time I've heard you. This is the
Yeah.
first time it was so clear that that's all you meant. There was nothing more to it. There was nothing less to take away from it. That's it. I get it. Yeah.
Man, and the worst one is sugar, Jay. The worst one is sugar. If you want to
Yeah.
piss a parasite off and see if it has the ability to respond, try to deprive some people of some sugar.
Indeed.
And I'm not talking about fruit sugar. I'm not talking about the sugar you get out your watermelon or your tangerine or your strawberry or your red. That's not what I'm referring to. I'm referring to bleach sugars. I'm referring to processed sugars. And I'm referring to gluten. You put them things in your body, it's like you if anybody's ever seen Cocaine Bear, the bear that was in Tennessee that had ran into the cocaine and he was just had superhuman strength running around eating everybody, fell off the side of a mountain, and the bear was dead pretty much. Looked like it was unconscious, down on the ground, out for the count. And a bag of that cocaine dropped off and he breathed it in with his last breath and then popped up and killed everybody on the on the little mountaintop area. That's the same for parasites. The equivalent is sugar for them. And then sugar has been said to be more addictive than the aforementioned substance. So
Cocaine? Yeah, it most definitely is.
mm-hmm.
And it doesn't give you the the tap into the L-Dopa and the adrenaline and all of that. It gives you a false high It dehydrates your cells and the cells around those cells, and ultimately it gives you fatigue. And then
what is speaking to us when we have those sugar cravings? If our body speaks to us and knows it's bad, it causes Alzheimer's, it causes glaucoma, all of these are results of sugar. And there are many, many other problems that happen in the body. So what is speaking? It ain't our body saying, give me more sugar. It can't be your body telling you cause more harm to itself. There has to be something else going on there.
On a cellular level, the parasites are speaking. They're speaking to the cells. You know, they're saying, hey, tell her, give me another Snickers.
Right.
Tell that food to go on and mix that alcohol with that sweet syrup this time. Add some Coke to that gin or that whiskey, or whatever it is. Yeah, we're going to take them excess calories, all right, and we're going to stuff them in our favorite part of the body. And they're going to start to see weight gain. And then it's going to look weird because their skin in that area where they're gaining weight, it's going to do some old denting in, sunken treasure looking type action, right? Because that's our favorite hiding spot. And as you deprive them of those things, some of them start to surface and you start to notice, things within your skin that
they say
look like they want to pop out. And then sometimes some people, you can push infection out of those spots in your skin, but you stop there because you're like, okay, don't want an infection. That is an infection.
You are correct. You are right. You are right. You are right. So, and then on children, if you ever notice on children or adults, on the back of your arm, look at the back of your arm. If there's these little black spots and little raised spots on the back of your arm, this is a for sure sign of parasitic infection. And that is 5 different types of parasites that could be responsible for that type of skin. I don't, it's not even an irritation. It's just like very small raised bumps on the back of the
arm. Peace, Barbara Walters. Okay. All right. Thanks for showing up. Let's see. Yeah, my cousin. Yeah, he showed up. Let's see. What was he saying? So when you ate the Snickers, the parasites let up because you gave them processed sugar, correct?
Yes, I gave them processed sugar. That's what they were. That's why I'm gonna be straight up transparent. They were peeing and pooping in my brain.
So that's what eating natural sugar, and they did not like it.
Right. And so soon as I did that, that lightened up and got off of me, and it happened to the interesting part when my woman stopped with the sugar, she started to experience the headaches as well. You know what I mean? And then as I did the research, it's because the parasites are urinating and defecating in the body, and that is a result.
So there are several movies that certain I won't credit the whole conglomerate or constituency of Hollywood, but I get what you're saying. There are certain filmmakers or screenplay writers that have been warning us about parasites. If you go on Netflix, there is a show now called Parasite Gray. It's basically letting you know that parasites exist in all shapes and sizes and variations, above and below, in between, and so on. Go ahead.
Once we flicked down this parasite lens and got back to looking at stuff, they were so blatant with it that it's almost intelligence insulting. You know what I mean? They'll say stuff like Lord of the Flies, have some girl head turning around with projectile vomit and worms in the vomit. You know what I mean? Or have her exhibiting some type of promiscuity in relation to the priest that's trying to exorcise her, or doing something wrong with
admitting to you that's one of the main ways that they're transferred or passed along, even when you deal with what we call spiritually, right? You know, being that spirit means in the breath. Certain people, you breathe on them. There's movies where the devil or a character like that, an evil character, blows on an innocent or a neutral person, and then they become possessed, or their body breaks out, or they become affected by that. Similarly to the character Job in the Old Testament Bible. It said that Satan breathed on him and he began to break out in sores and so on and so forth. So I'm not saying Job was possessed, y'all. Just read between the lines. Everyone else around him, though, the people he was offering offerings for, people he was asking for forgiveness for, those are the people who told him to curse his source and just die. That sounds like he was surrounded by parasitic people who were living off of his relationship or understanding of a greater calling or a greater being, right? Just an observation. My take on things. But go ahead.
Right on. I mean, and I don't know how to. So in secret societies, we've heard of them. Gosh, this stuff it's got to be said, but I hate even talking about it. You know what I mean? But
before you go into that, because I don't want you to lose that. Yeah, he's saying that's what we were saying earlier. Same thing as with cancer cells, because they feed off of the sugar, right? And then they mutate, they grow into something worse off. They become malignant, and then they eat up the healthy cells around.
Even the devil is called the Lord of the Flies. Yeah. They make a reference to the devil as the Lord of the Flies. This is another,
Well, yeah, one of the seven spirits of Belial is Beelzebub, right? Yeah, the Lord of the Flies. So
yeah.
Captain of a flying or winged group of parasitic beings from a very low frequency, dark place, but nonetheless, yeah.
And then I mean, it gets straight up into telling you, like, I seen one of the movies, and I wish I knew the title so I could post it, but I will eventually. The man fell into the temptation of the woman who was possessed. When he fell into the temptation of the woman who is possessed, the last part of the scene is him laying down with her and then blacking out into demon possession.
You talking about the Ninth Gate?
I think that's what it is. Yes, I think that's what it is.
Good movie.
Yeah.
Good movie. Check it out. Yeah, man. Absolutely. I was checking out a movie the other day, Host. Check out Host. It came out several years ago. I'll tell you exactly when here in a second.
And I was going to add on to what you were saying. Yeah, look it up if you don't believe what I'm saying. Parasites can be passed by the air. Parasites can be passed by water. Parasites can be passed by sexual transmission. Parasites can be passed by dirt. Parasites can come into the soles of your feet. The hookworms and different stuff like that can come into the soles of your feet. Parasites can affect many different levels of your body. And then our last segment, which if you made it this far, great that you made it this far, because this is the segment that is most beneficial. And as the Black Sun Shaman part of myself, after we watch this, the Black Sun Shaman part of myself is thrilled about the solutions part, or solution segment of this parasite.
Yes, you definitely got to go into that. And before we segue there, just real quick, T, this is the movie I was telling you,
Oh, Host. Okay.
The Host. Yeah, there's a movie called Host that came out in 2020. That is not the same movie, but this movie I have seen, and it shows you a group of alien beings that they possessed human beings. In order to take over our planet, they had to have access to our bodies. So it's almost like similar to, not almost like, very similar to the movie that Peele, from Key and Peele, the movie he wrote, Get Out. So they are actually like trying to get in the driver's seat of the will within the mind. And so they do this process where they take the subject or the host and they inject the parasitic being, alien being, into their mind, and they can actually converse with one another. So the body has this auditory sensation going on of hearing the entire conversation and also being synced with both wills, going back and forth within the self. It's very interesting, but it's basically showing you what is to come. You know,
Yeah, and we're on the Behind the Veil podcast. So flat out, if these dimension merging, we've been talking about a merging, and it's been common amongst the conscious community, merging. Okay, I get what you're saying, you know what I mean, but some things aren't meant to be merged. Some things are meant to be separate, you know what I mean. Some starlights only go across at a certain part of the year, you know what I mean. Some
yeah.
vibrations only happen at the perfect alignment for them to occur, so that's the only time you feel that vibration. Some locations on the certain vibrations, when you get into consistent synthetic vibratory frequencies, then you get into other consciousness being able to make home over here instead of
Thank you for
visit.
subscribing, Barbara.
It gives them the capability to live on this plane of existence instead of just being able to traverse, visit, send a message. When you get into a consistent vibration or a consistent parasitic influence, or making that consistent, then your body changes, then your mind changes, then your vision changes, the way you speak change, the way you act change. And this has been commonly called demonic possession, but from a scientific perspective, it's parasitic infection. And now, do you want to be free from that? If you've been watching this video and you want to be free from parasitic influence, stealing your vitamins, stealing your energy, making it so your smell is not functioning properly, potentially blinding your sight, causing you headaches, causing joint pains, all of these things that may be a result of parasitic influence, your opportunity to see comes from your capability to be disciplined enough to go through a parasite cleanse. The reason I say disciplined enough, this is not a cleanse like normal cleanses, in the sense that your minimum time for a parasite cleanse is a month, 4 weeks, and it's really 4 to 6 weeks.
I've been on mine for going on a month, 2 months now, almost 2
Oh
months.
man, I done got so into it. My toothpaste.
But see, I'm some years behind. I had a cousin that is a seer also, like myself and several others in the family, in the tribe. But I didn't catch what she was saying to me in time, so I had to go through some things. But yeah, as we get into the release from this plague, parasites can be natural and man-made. David says Neuralink would be a parasite. Yes, it would definitely.
Yes,
and that's what I was inferring and implying with the comments I was making just a bit ago about. And the reason why I even brought up the host as something for people to check out, that movie, because it's in the mind, It's definitely entered in through a pathway of the body through the skin, but then once it merged, it was literally wrestling for consciousness control, and it wasn't like a violent wrestling because that would be too unnerving to the surrounding, entities, people, etc., environment. But it was trying to get her to do things like reveal the location of her brother who had escaped being picked up by the aliens that these parasites are, for example. And so it was basically trying to coerce her and convince her to give up the information without violence, because of course now the parasite can feel the pain of the body. I gotta check it out. But
and I mean, and if you don't see how those correspond to each other, I would just like to say there are a lot of strange things going on in the world around us that make absolutely no sense to me anyway. The amount of sugar in everything is nonsensical. The neurotoxins that are in our water, the fluoride, somebody's paying to have this fluoride made, have this fluoride shipped, have this fluoride put into our water system beyond knowing better. You know what I mean? And so, I just want to point that out, that those consciousness are seeping their way into our reality. And you mentioned Neuralink. They're making it so that a brain can be copied down and then put into a sleeve, a body, a clone, a body, a sleeve is what they called it. And once Neuralink is done, it'll be able to be put in that sleeve. If there was actually this merging that happened, this era that happened in Atlantis that caused all of these dimensions to merge, then the scary part is, yes, they've been trying to hijack the physical body. They've been trying to make their way here, but we are the medium by which they must traverse. Us, animals, plants, naturally occurring things to this realm.
I have to point this out. What we discovered about the DNA and its memory capacity. If a man could download or upload, an ebook 70 billion times on 1 gram of DNA, that sleeve is limited. Just think about it. That sleeve is so limited that it can actually edit and alter the consciousness that's being transferred to it, so that you are whatever the next level of existence that consciousness would take on would be an edited version of whomever.
Right.
Subject. A highly edited version. Like if they wanted to get rid of your swearing, your cursing. You get what I'm saying with this? You have someone else that would say, let me make the designer human. Let me make man in my likeness or image through the AI. So anyway, let's not go off. I just had to point that out though, because when you building on that,
he brought when he brought in Neuralink, we had to go there. We had to go there. We had to go there. And so, okay, now how do we get rid of these things?
Yes, how do we rid ourselves of these things?
Okay, I'm going to talk about 2 things in this segment. I'm going to cover how to protect your frequency and how to rid yourself of these parasites and their eggs. So natural remedies: oregano oil, clove, pumpkin seeds, walnuts, wormwood, cayenne pepper, black pepper, garlic. All of these are natural remedies that kill parasites and they prevent parasites. Then another one that I use neem toothpaste. And I use black seed toothpaste, both neem and black seed, and coconut oil. When you do pulls, when you do pulls with coconut oil, you rinse your mouth out with coconut oil, brush your teeth and all of that, and that's a pull. And then you can also take a spoonful and swallow it, and that has parasitic preventative and killing potentials for it as well.
Would you say a lot of parasitic preventative measure would be ingesting the seeds of certain?
Yes, that's the main real killer and killer for the eggs, because we talked about the cycles. We talked about that they have egg cycles. So if you kill them and the body's left in, yes, you did great. You feel great. You getting your energy back, but then boom, you back into the bull crap because of eggs that were left and reproduce these parasites in your body. So you're back in the same condition. In order to prevent that, walnuts, eating walnuts produces that has a chemical in it that will kill the eggs so that they don't come back. Even better than that, though, if you're doing a parasite cleanse, at the end of your parasite cleanse, go get hydrotherapy or a colonic, or take a diuretic tea, or some laxative. You know what I mean?
And so along with the laxative, not to get too graphic, wouldn't one want to, if you can't get a colonic, for example, if you can't do hydrotherapy, would an enema or even like a...
I mean, yeah, the enema would work, but it wouldn't. It wouldn't
flush all the way through.
No.
Yeah, wouldn't flush all the way through, right?
Yep, it wouldn't flush all the way through. It would get some stuff out, but it wouldn't flush all the way through. And you really want a good flush after that. You know what I mean? You because
tell us why. Go into
some people have no. Let me not say some people, because that will make the commonality of this lesson. A lot of people have 20 to 40 pounds of backed up
waste, fecal waste
in your digestive system. So if you take something that's killing parasites, they're going to run, and they're going to run into that 20 or 40 pounds of waste to hide.
Yeah.
So even if you kill them and they die after their run, then if you only clear out the surface layers and they made it back further than the surface layers, then they may even have died, but the eggs will still be back there. So in order to prevent yourself from reinfection, you really want to get a colonic. Hands down, the colonic is the best. But I don't suggest that for older people. When I say older people, if you like in your late 60s, early 70s, 80s, you definitely want to check with a doctor before you even consider colonic, because as you get older, your intestinal walls thin, and you don't want that type of pressure on your intestinal walls if they can't handle it, because then you could breach your.
So what would you say to people who already suffer from a certain level of incontinence?
I would say you definitely want to get a hold of some smooth tea, and you definitely want to drink some hot beverages on a regular basis, especially in your morning hours. You want to cut that mucus. You want to get yourself a lime or something acidic and put it in some hot water and drink that, so you can begin to start breaking that stuff up and getting that stuff up out of there.
Also, you want to drink water before you drink anything in the morning. First thing you break your fast on should be water. So that's why we call it breakfast. You break your fast with water, especially if you're going to drink a diuretic like coffee or tea in the morning. You want to put that water in there first. Trust me.
Yes, indeed.
If you haven't been doing it, you'll count yourself lucky, but switch up.
I'm pro natural solutions, but there are medical solutions for parasites. You can go to your doctor And you can't.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought. I wanted to touch on that, and I kind of forgot myself.
You can't go to your doctor, and you would have to say this. This is not going to be initiated by your doctor. This is not going to be something that they even take into consideration easily. When you say it, they're not going to be like, "Oh yeah, let me get on that right away." You know what I mean? They're going to be like, "What makes you think that?" And you're going to be like, "Oh, I have a symptom." And they're going to be like, "That symptom doesn't suggest parasites. That symptom suggests cancer, or that symptom suggests, another condition."
Correct.
And they'll try to lean you towards that because it pays them to prescribe medication. I don't know if you guys know that when they prescribe medication, they get paid, they get kickbacks and stuff like that.
And even the select few that do not want to go that route, and at least as a last resort is their approach. Some of the older doctors that are still kicking, still practicing, I've come across, they really don't want to go that route, but they're pushed financially. It's not always greed. Sometimes it's survival. So in all fairness, not saying anything about what T is saying as far as it being incorrect. He's right. Pharmaceutical companies have this in a vice grip, but some of the drugs they have are absolutely phenomenal, and they work just like the natural, but they
Yep.
will not tell you about them. And they
No,
will.
they will not. I mean, like, let us stress that they will not. They will let you die first. I didn't mean to say it like that, but
No, you're right. Knowing all the while, if you went to PetSmart or Petco, right down that aisle, and there's a dewormer, and I mean, we don't even think about it. You got to wait for an appointment. And I'm not suggesting that anyone. This is for entertainment and educational purposes of discussion only.
mm-hmm. But
Just
yeah,
though, if that's one of the leading causes, precursor causes to certain conditions and diseases, if you eradicate those things, you eliminate at least half your risk, I would think.
you eliminate
But
you eliminate that, and you restore balance to your unbalanced body. Some people have been dealing with parasites for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. They have entire colonies within their body.
yes, Barbara, that is the one. You can remove the question mark. That is a statement. And someone very, very famous and very popular to some and unpopular in others' eyes was telling you the whole entire time while there was a very large event of illness spreading a couple of years ago. And it does more than just help you with malaria symptoms. Yeah, it definitely rids the body of parasitic infestation.
And
Very,
then if you can't breathe, if you're having trouble breathing, you can't breathe. Pneumonia. Pneumonia
can be caused, yeah, definitely can be caused by a parasitic infection in the lungs.
can be caused by a parasitic infection, and then you being short of breath for no apparent reason. You just breathing, and it gets so far, and then it's pain.
Man, you just made me really flash back to, and think like the questions they ask us at a doctor's appointment. As soon as you present with certain symptoms, they'll ask you, and it's almost like how a lawyer questions someone on the stand. Like they're leading questions. They're leading you to, so they can just hurry up and okay, yeah, go ahead and take this, prescribe that. Hey, buddy. Okay, good night. Yeah, it just got me thinking. You could think that someone passed on streptococcus or whatever, which is why you should always have those things screened.
mm-hmm.
Specifically screened for certain things. Don't take for granted because something's going around that you caught it the same way that everyone else that's complaining with the same symptoms got it. Because it could be you are immune to what they got, but you got the same illness strata from a parasite or a fungus or any, you know what I mean? You just don't know.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. I mean, and so the best thing that I've encountered personally, this is a personal favorite, the clove, wormwood, and black walnut hull complex is it is disgusting, family. Universal family. It is disgusting. I mean, ugh. Okay. Black licorice on steroids. Okay. But, but the effects, I don't even, I don't even know how to explain them to you. My skin cleared, my brain cleared, my thoughts cleared, my ability to follow through cleared, my ability to stay awake and not be so fatigued all the time
that's a
changed.
that's a key. Because you know, another thing I just thought of, when I don't know if this ever happened to you, but there was one stage where in life I was going through an unhealthy stage, like really unhealthy. I was trying to get it together, but um, I just had become so complacent, in certain ways that I used to be very active and proactive in. And it would feel like a light switch. I literally could feel something go in a vertebrae or in my spine, and the lights would go out. I'm talking about if I sat down a certain way. I'm not talking about a pinched nerve. They never could find any evidence of a pinched nerve. I believe it was parasites.
Yeah,
You know, working their little thing in certain areas, and it's just like, oh, there you go. Now we can feast.
yeah. And then for those who want to make this search easy, I do have my website. Very very proud of it. Very proud to it's go up and going, and it is for parasite cleanses and EMF cleansing, and that's blacksunshaman.com. Black Sun Shaman. You can see it down there below my name, Black Sun Shaman. Black Sun Shaman, no spaces.com. And you can get, your cleanses and everything over there. Those prices that you see include shipping and handling, and I ship out the next day for whatever you order. But man,
Yeah, hit up his website, shop there, support, not just for the support your own health, your physical
right,
health, your emotional health, your mental health. He's not going to carry anything on his site that is not absolutely good for you. Absolutely.
exactly.
And
And I mean,
I vouch for that for sure.
and then the one last thing I wanted to cover, you know, EMF protection, electromagnetic field protection. They do have things that provide that Faraday blankets, shungite, and different things like that. The importance of that is I don't know if these parasites' consciousness keep us from our own consciousness in the sense that we're not able to be free from frequencies enough to know who we are, to know what our urges are, to know what our desires are, to know how we feel about certain subject matters. You know, uh, make sure you cleanse your body of the parasites and protect your electric field enough that you can discover yourself. That is the reason for this video. That's the reason for me presenting and Jay presenting this information, because we want you to be free enough to discover yourself and your connection to the universe and all of the information that's available in you. You know what I mean? Without it being hijacked by some parasite before it ever makes it to be useful in your body, to be useful, to be understood about yourself, before a signal from one organ reaches your mind is blocked or hindered by parasites. We want all of that stuff to stop and cease for you so that you can know yourself.
I just want to share with y'all also before we go. You know, this is a time where one of the hottest topics of discussion is manifestation. I just want you to do a little dissection with wordplay. Man, I fest. Fest is short for festival. Festival comes from the word feast. So man, I feast. So man's feast has become man's infestation because what you eat is eating you. And I want y'all to think about that. Man, I feast. So that man, I feast has become man's infestation.
You just reminded me of all of them royalty people who used to have them gluttonous feast with half cooked meat and all of that, and they just glutton themselves out. Now they the psychopath groups that anyway. That is an interesting perspective.
Absolutely. And oftentimes the seers, like Daniel, for example, he abstained from the fine meats of the king, all of the fine breads, all of the rich. What we would say, I wouldn't say they had gluten per se, but I'm sure there was some other filler at the time that was still probably close to as unhealthy as gluten. That would cause a pasty glue-like substance to form within the arteries and create plaques and things like that. But if you fed someone that way, if you fed them that way intentionally, and they don't know any better, ultimately, whatever your desired result for the control over their life through their health.
You are right about it. And their life and death. And their life and death span. You would also control that. If you continue to feed it, the parasite would literally, when a person dies, they do go to the parasite. They are fed to the parasite. You know that when you die, all the parasites go and eat.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So for those who believe in an incorruptible, glorified body, I mean, you it's not that, your God per se needs your help, but why would you work against that by utterly destroying the temple? And I know I have a ways to go, so I'm the pot calling the kettle black, but I'm gonna keep calling it.
No, you're not. You putting herbs in that pot and going through the process, and that is the beautiful thing. I want us all to go through this together. I want us all to have that freedom. You know what I mean? Together. That's all.
Yes, indeed. Well, blacksunshaman.com. Check it out. Go there, get your products, get your health together. There's only one you, so take care of you the best you can. Thank you for joining the Beyond the Veil podcast, an unusual podcast. And T did his thing, man. T did his thing. Watch, and watch again. Like, share, subscribe, join our locals channel. Support us. We want to keep bringing you the truth. We want to keep bringing you the reality of there is an answer. Yeah, there's some challenges out here. There's some downright diabolical, dastardly, dirty deeds going on. But we're not going to give up. We're going to keep on fighting, keep on pushing, keep getting better. But yeah, it's been real. We appreciate you. We love it. Thanks for the new subscribers. Thanks for the new viewers. If you can't hear me on Facebook Live,
Oh no, Facebook Live cut me off completely.
Okay. So we straight on. Okay, yeah.
And then if anybody came over here from Facebook, well, I'm going to do a Facebook Live for this.
Yeah,
it'll probably be next week. So
that's cool. If you want me to join, I'll do it on the phone. I think that part we can figure out pretty simply. We tried to do a cross-platform thing, y'all. We're working out subscriptions and all of that to get that, more accessible for you. So we appreciate your patience with us. And anything else you want to say, my brother?
Freedom. I, as a shaman, want above all things for you to be free and discover yourself. And so peace and perfected resonance with your highest good in your right now moments.
Absolutely. And with that, we out.